Hey guys, Clumsy here. The Mack Anthem is upon us. Let's go and check it out. Here she is. Goodness, this looks beautiful, doesn't it? I had some fun trying to configure this truck. Thank you SCS for an amazing truck yet again. But let's go into the details. So in this video, we will be doing a bit of config, checking out the different options available. We'll be driving it around. I'll let you see how it feels and hear how it sounds. And then we'll be trying out a mod to even make the entire experience better. Right, so let's dive into it. Truck browser. The Mack dealer is available in Sacramento, so you might have to unlock that. Mack Anthem right here. In terms of the triangle count, it is in line, very much in line with the SCS level of optimization that we've grown used to. The Mack Anthem is at 1.5 million triangles. You can see it there in the upper left. Compared with some of the default trucks here, 1.1, 1.8, if I can see that correctly, compared with the Mack R, which is a very optimized mod, we have 1.6. In the interior, the Mack R has 5 million, compared with the Mack Anthem, which is at 4.8, almost 5 million as well. So suffice to say, compare that with some of the default trucks we have, 2.83 million. So not the most optimized, but it is a looker definitely. So I think it's more than worth it. And I think in reality, you can see all these numbers, but in reality, you probably won't even notice a difference. So it is an SCS truck through and through in terms of optimization and in terms of looks, if I might add. Goodness. Now we've had this truck before, a modded truck, the Mack Anthem, originally from Frank, Peru, modified by Harvin, but that was a bit unoptimized even with Harvin's improvisations and improvements. So now with SCS making it, it is perfectly accurate and perfectly optimized. Amazing. So 3 options in the cabin: day cab, 48 and 70 sleeper. There is a bit of difference though. I heard some reports, if you have the sleeper, then you're fine. If you get the premium, exclusive and ultra, beautiful interior, isn't it? And don't mind the frame rate, the FPS that's going lower, that's just me and my anti-aliasing tweaks not perfectly working in sync at times in this view. Anyway, so with the premium, exclusive and ultra, you have the GPS. But if you are using the day cab, you might be in for a treat. Not really a treat, the opposite. A trick. But regardless of which interior you choose, the GPS will not be available in the day cab. And that might be intentional. Maybe it makes sense since it's a day cab. GPS isn't that important, I'm not sure. But if you are going with a day cab like I am, then an option for you is to turn on sizzles, accessories as a mod, because they already added support for this truck. So thankfully you have that windshield corner. And even though it's not part of the original ATS content, if you have sizzles mega pack, that one there, the bottom row, then at least you can have a GPS like so. So that can work for you. Now, one disadvantage of having the GPS there is this truck, I think, is quite famous for having these hood mirrors, and they look very nice. Well, depending on how you look at it, but I'm not such a fan of hood mirrors, mainly because they are performance hogs. Mirrors are more things to render and make the game slower, and I don't really need them. Since I have track IR, I can just look left and right. But with this truck, you might prefer having hood mirrors, because if you look here in this view, you cannot see any part of the side mirror, not even the left side. You really have to look left. So those might be useful. Although this is the problem. If you have the GPS there and then it blocks the left mirror, so you'll have to remove the GPS, and in that case, you won't have any GPS at all. Another alternative is still with Sizzle's mod. He put some dash buttons here, and you can use the GPS as a tablet, but that is not perfectly aligned. You can see it's a bit floating or too much in the back. I'm not really sure, but I don't like how it looks. That's one option, but yeah, I don't like it. If you have another mod, at this point only mods can have the GPS. Maybe they'll fix that shortly. You can maybe put a GPS right there if you have such a mod. I'm not sure if I have it. TomTom Pro 8500. So that can be a thing as well. Yeah, that's an alternative. If you really want your hood mirrors, pick one of those dots and pick the GPS there that's attached to the windshield. Something like that, maybe. That can work, right? Yeah, that can work. Cool. But yeah, for me, just in terms of performance, I will get rid of the hood mirrors. Right? What else? The chassis 6x2 and 6x4. Unfortunately, no 4x2 as some people have requested. And then we have engines here. I have a mod already. Thank goodness for Robinicus. We'll go into that later. But we have the MP7, MP8, different power options here. And then for the transmission, we have Allison, Eaton Fuller, and M-Drive. I think that's specific to the Mac. A little bit of trivia on the Mac as a whole. As of 2000 or 2001, they have actually been acquired by Volvo. And since then, the engines that they have are basically Volvo engines. So they say that both Volvo and Mack engines are coming from the same production line. They're just maybe branded differently. So the MP7 is actually equivalent to the Volvo D11. The MP8 is equivalent to the Volvo D13, and the MP10, which is not here, but it's available in Robinicus one. The MP10 is equivalent to the Volvo D16. So that one. So that can be a good indication of how they should sound like. Right? Looking great here. The interior, the modeling is, I have no complaints. Optimized and as crisp as ever. They have mastered the modeling department. They actually said in the blog that they have 3 senior designers that are involved in this truck. One is taking care of the exterior model, one is taking care of the interior model, and the last one is taking care of the paint jobs. That's why you can see a lot of paint jobs that are compatible, the DLCs, the Steam Achievement Rewards. Yeah, they haven't have that divided. That's the one I'm using. I really like that. And the stripes, I forgot the name, but the stripes DLC, painted stripes, I think. They all work perfectly, and they have some unique ones as well here. Actually like the curves on this one. Might go for that at some point. Yeah, so very nice. You might notice though, I mentioned 3 senior designers. None of those are particularly involved in the sounds. So I'm not sure if they have a senior designer for sounds, but they didn't say it in the blog. Yeah, so you might know what to expect already. That's an indication. Anyway, let's go with that one. I really like that one. Okay. So in here you have options. We chose a day cab, but well, you know what? For variety, let's pick the other one, the 70-inch sleeper. And then let's pick the same paint job here. Like so. Oh, that looks so cool. You can change the colors as well. I'm wishing I chose this paint job. Oh, that's fine. Alright, so the accessories, you can actually get a bigger roof cap in here. Or something that has those like plastic trims at the back. And that has the corresponding side fairings in here. Perfect. And have plastic or chrome parts. This truck is very customizable, especially compared with the normal SCS trucks. Lots of dots, lots of different options, side flares, chrome bar. Even the door handles have their plastic and chrome options, and the side skirts, the tank, there's even a rounded and a square tank here. Lots of options. This actually feels like a modded truck somewhat because of all these options you have available. Even have chrome tanks in there. Very nice. In front you have the Bulldog, of course, which acts like the hood handle, if I understand it correctly. This is what they use to lift the hood. And that was designed. The SCS has a few videos going around where they interview the marketing head or someone from Mack. Gives a lot of interesting trivia. Here you have an option for plastic or chrome. And a full chrome. Oh, that certainly has its appeal. The banners for oversized load. Standard and chrome finish on the headlights. Oh, sun visor. I actually didn't tweak this on my truck. That actually looks pretty good. That standard one right there. Might have missed that. Anyway, we are in the mechanic, so we can check it out later. We can alter it. Okay, looks good. One thing I also wanted to highlight, but let's go here first. Quarter fenders, standard paint and chrome. Very nice. I like the painted one. At the back here, you can go for the standard or chrome options. We have either the Bulldog or the Mack in letters. And what I wanted to highlight is they also added, this is what I like, if you have the DLC for the, what do you call it? The wheels tuning pack DLC. If you go here, over the hub cover, there's actually now a Mack hub cover, and let's use the walk around feature for this. This is going to be useful for the looking at the details. There you go. You actually have a Mack cover in there. That's nice. And you also have that same thing at the back over here. So that will be unlocked for you if you have the wheels tuning pack, if I can base it on the icon here. Very nice. Adds additional flair to the entire truck. Yeah, so model wise, no complaints at all. It looks amazing. I mean, they said they had a lot of inputs from real drivers. Oh, you can even change the exhaust. Didn't know that. Bottom, single, or double. Wowzers. If only the sounds were also in line. Sorry, I'm a bit salty about that. Alright, here, the interior. You've seen that already. Steering wheel wise, we have a couple of options. SCI steering wheels are compatible, including the new ones from 1.37. Actually, I'm not sure which those are. These ones, I think. Yeah. But the focus is the actual Mack steering wheel. That's the standard one. Looks pretty sleek, very simple looking. My favorite one is this one, the Mack Premium. Or if you like a wooden finish, the Mack Ultra. For that, not really wooden, but like leather, brown leather finish at the bottom. Looking good here. No dots at the back. Looks pretty homey. I remember putting in a CG logo in here. There you go. Modified the files to make it compatible with the truck. We'll do that in our truck later, okay? But aside from that, I think we're good. We are ready for a test drive. I chose the day cab variant, and it looks like this. There's a bit of a gap there, mind the gap between the truck and the trailer. I would prefer that to be smaller, but I don't think, yeah, we cannot really adjust the fifth wheel. Doesn't look as nice, but maybe that's realistic. Anyway, so the sounds. I try not to be biased, so I'll let you hear it first. Even though I basically voiced out my opinion already. But yeah, that's not bad, right? No, that is bad. So let's focus on the interior first, the positive. I like that computer dashboard. Lots of things in there. Speedometer, battery, fuel consumption all in one spot. Also some kind of compass, I think that is. We have, actually, is that compass? Yeah, we're probably facing east. So M is for manual, N is for neutral, E is for east. Fuel economy right here with a bar. Is that updating? I guess so. Yeah, that does update. We'll observe that later. Remaining fuel, distance to empty, engine temperature, air pressure, engine load. That also changes, interesting. And no notices. That would change if your truck is damaged. Okay. Lights look very sleek. Wipers. All good. Horn. I think that horn is a bit different. Blinkers. I'm not sure if Macks have a unique blinker, but from this it doesn't sound like it. I also like that there is a gear indicator there and there is also one there. I'm using manual here. Normally it should be automatic, I guess, but just so I can use my shifter properly. Anyway, so I'll let you hear the engine. I'll probably go around one bit with open windows. I mean, I guess if you're not very particular with the sounds, they're not bad. But I don't like them at all. I actually have a comment from JP. He tweeted me and he told me he was driving with the map. Close the window. And he was driving with the Mack and he didn't realize that he was in neutral for 30 seconds while he was traveling through a highway or something, because the sounds were so flat and so monotonous that he didn't realize he was actually in neutral. So that speaks very badly on how the engine sounds are, that you can't distinguish between a neutral and a loaded in gear sound of the engine. So thankfully Robinicus has stepped in, and I think he had this ready for quite some time. He was just waiting for the truck to get released, and I've heard very good things about it, so let's go and try it out. Let's switch out. Am I going to jackknife here? Let's take it slow. That's probably what all the space is for in between the truck and trailer. Yeah, that's pretty safe right there. I'm happy now about that space. Okay. Let's jump in. Yeah. So that probably explains why there is no lead designer involved in the sounds. So let's go here and let's pick the let's pick the exact one, MP8505C. MP8505C Maxi Cruise, that's the one from Robinicus, I believe. Same transmission, same everything. Let's go with that. And let's go and hear it, first from outside. From the get-go, that is much more powerful, more in your face. And that is definitely something that you will hear and you will recognize if you're in neutral or not, because the sounds vary depending on the rev range. Alright, let's go and check it out. Let's go and do that same loop. Oh, that is beautiful. Thank you, Robinicus. You saved us. Now the experience is complete. Even the jake brake is better. The jake brake for the Mac, the default sounds are like just wind. This one from Robinicus is more grumbly. Now, I'm not sure which one is more realistic, but I like this one better from Robinicus. Thank you, Rob. Let's close the windows here. Actually, is that with windows closed? Oh goodness, that is with windows closed. This is with windows open. Let's take that intersection. Do a test drive with windows open. Oh, that is loud. It's very loud. Let's go and change that. But yeah, even with windows closed, actually, you already have some very good balance of sounds here. I think I can actually keep my windows closed. It's loud enough. SCS for the models and Robinicus for the sounds. This is perfect. Now, in terms of sounds, my favorite right now is still the Detroit Diesel 60 series, the one that I did a silent tracking video yesterday, but still happy enough with this one. Goodness, that looks good. Does anyone know if Mack trucks have Detroit diesel engines? If it's a possible customization? If you know, hit me up in the comment section. Because I would love to have an excuse to put that in, the Detroit diesel from Zmod, from Check Engine, into this truck. Oh, that would be perfect. So I guess this is also exactly how Volvo sounds like. Well, maybe not exactly, but high level. So yeah, you can see where those hood mirrors would be very beneficial. If you don't have track IR, it would be a bit of a pain to have to look left or right, just to know if you have some cars coming up beside you. So those hood mirrors will be super helpful. And they seem to be properly sized and visible from this view. Sierra Nevada. City limits, I'm assuming the speed limit will change. Not really. It's keeping at 45. Alright. Yeah, I'm looking forward to more drives with this, but I think even if, I mean, the sounds are good, but I'm just really missing the crispness of the Detroit diesel. I'm addicted to that sound. So much so that I was driving offline. Normally I don't drive offline anymore. I usually just drive when I'm recording, because I drive and record so much anyway. I stream. But those sounds just made me want to get on the truck and drive. Because they're just super crisp, especially with earphones. But if you are familiar how a Mac should sound like, if you've watched videos, let me know in the comments if this sounds like a real Mack truck now. Why was it 50? Why was it 30 there? Oh, let's go and check out the other options in here. Miles per gallon, that changes. The ball moves. Reminds me of like the rudder in the Cessna 172 airplane. Step on the ball. So the ideal range is probably... One second, I'm trying to understand. The triangle, is that the average, I guess? The average miles per gallon is the triangle, and the ball is the instant, the current miles per gallon. Now these sounds are great, but they seem like it does sound like an open window situation, doesn't it? Like I'm looking for a bit of muffle. And it sounds like an open window scenario, even with windows closed. That may be the improvement we can get. It might be a bit too loud for a closed window scenario. I would bet that this truck, especially because it's so modern, I think it was released 2017, 2018. I would bet that the insulation for sound is very good already. So normally, I doubt that the sounds would be this loud. For us who are engine sound addicts, who like to hear the engine roar, then it's good. But for a real life driver, goodness, I doubt you'll want to have this kind of sound as you drive for, I don't know how many hours, 8 hours a day or more. It's also interesting that the speedometer has up to 120 miles in there. That is a bit scary, isn't it? Oh, and there's also the kilometer equivalent, the smaller dial. I like that. Miles per gallon score increasing bit by bit as we stay on the highway. And yeah, I think the triangle is moving just ever so slightly in there. I like that visualization. Gives you a clear view of what your average is and what your current is in terms of fuel consumption. Engine oil temperature, air pressure, drivetrain, engine load. This, but let's keep it there. I like it. Are we facing east again? Or is that static? Manual, 8H gear, and E I would have assumed stands for east. Let's have a look at the map. Yes, we are more or less headed east. Okay, fine. Let's observe later if that changes. So yeah, definitely would like this kind of sounds. Maybe just lessen it a bit. Now we can modify that in the audio settings. But I'm a bit of a lazy bones. I don't like modifying the slider for audio for each and every track. I just like to keep it in the middle. And then I use the windows to adjust the volume as I see fit. So for me, I would prefer the sounds to be more muted, more muffled when the windows are fully closed. And if I like them to get louder, then I just put my windows down. Like that. But aside from that, I can find no other fault in it. I'm sure some of our more sensitive eared engine sound gurus will have more inputs. But in terms of the model, my goodness, this is super smooth. I remember when I was driving the Mack Anthem before from Frank Peru in Harvin. It was really nicely done in terms of looks, but it was a bit laggy because the optimization was not quite there. with SCS you really can expect to have the most optimized experience. And in terms of feel, yeah, feels perfectly like a modern truck. No complaints here. Trying to hear all the nuances, the little things.
Then exit right.
Does tend to be on the lower range of revs though. Not sure what the ideal rev range is. Oh, I like those brakes, check brakes.
Turn left.
And those idle sounds are quite nice as well. But even the default sounds from SCS, the idle sounds are quite good. Or not bad, I should say. The thing that's just really bad for me are the loaded and unloaded engine sounds. They are too flat. They are too safe. But that's like how it is in most of the driving games, driving sims I've seen. They're not very particular about the sounds, unfortunately. But as a simulator, I think sounds have to be given a number 2, if not number 1 priority. Should be graphics and then sounds, or the other way around. Otherwise, the entire experience is moot. So it should be a holistic experience. My goodness, I'm loving this. So cool. So I'll try to find a way. We'll be streaming on Thursday. Normally I stream on Friday for Clumsy Trucking, but since Friday is a holiday, I'll be streaming on Thursday instead. It's actually tomorrow already by the time this video releases. But I'll try and find a way to make it work with the Detroit diesel engine. Either Zmod updates it, or I mod a little of my own, modify the definition files, so we can drive with the Mack and with DD engine. Might not be matching real life, but I'm sure it will be a great experience. Might not be super realistic, might have to make use a bit of my creative freedom, but I'm sure it will be well worth it. My favorite engine sounds at the moment for ATS are Z-mods. Absolutely crisp and based on the inputs, the feedback from the majority of people, it's as accurate as can be. He has currently only 2 sounds available, 2 engine sounds available, the Cat 3406 and the Detroit Diesel 60 series. Both of those I really love. When I feel like driving a more, how do you say, customized truck, like I don't know if chip-tuned is a proper term for what I'm referring to, but the Cat 3406 has that customized feel, like a pimped out truck. If I like a more stock, quote-unquote stock sound, I would go with the Detroit diesel one. And right now my favorite is that Detroit diesel. I go back to it again and again and again. So if I manage to make it work, I will share that mod. It's going to be a simple definition file fix, if ever. We'll see how it goes. Wish me luck. No. That traffic light was very far away from the intersection. I thought that was actually the next street over. Okay, looks like the ideal rev range for shifting is at 1500. Because it depends on the truck, it depends on the engine rather. There are some engines that like to shift at 2000 RPMs. And I think you can see that in the engine, the config screen. You know, with the engine rating, you have the price, you have the horsepower, the torque. And when it says the torque, it specifies the torque at this RPM. And I'm guessing that's the range of the RPM that you would ideally shift at, because that's probably the peak of the torque. So you probably shift right before that for eco-friendliness. If you need power, you shift right at that range. And if you need economy, you shift before that. But that's my assumption. I don't really have any professional or accurate info about that. So if you know more about it, let me know. But I'm sure it has something to do with that rev range, RPM rating in the truck config section. Right, just like that, we are here already. Awesome. Let's see how this thing works in terms of visibility. Let's open our windows. That's where we're parking. I take up all the space I have available. That does sound like a Volvo, if I remember correctly. Not the Volvo from SCS, SCS. But the Volvo from Christian and other models we have. Visibility is not bad at all. No humongous stacks or whatnot. So very practical, very modern truck. Doesn't have that classic feel at all. No, it's a bit off. Not sure if it will accept that. I think we'll have to do it again. Oh, that was ready. That's fine, let's fix it. So if you're in the mood for a modern truck, this is the truck of choice, I would say. Thank you SCS for the amazing truck, and hopefully you keep the good work up, and hopefully you keep tuning the sounds. Oh, are those animations in? Yeah, the window buttons do animate. The jake brake. You see anything that's moving? Well, there is that one. Off engine. The jake brake is off the engine brake. If you turn it on, then that goes away. Retarder. Actually didn't get to hear the retarder. I don't use it that often in ATS. Alright, let's go with that. And I think we are good to go there. Let's unload this thing. Awesome. So hope you liked that video, guys. Let me know what you think. Suggestions, parts. Let me know about the Detroit diesel combination with this truck in particular. I would love to hear that it is realistic, but even if it's not, I think I'll go ahead with that plan. Putting that on this truck just because it sounds so amazing. Anyway, thank you for watching. Thank you SCS, thank you Robinicus. Let's see what else our modders will come up with. I'm sure there will be plenty. Thank you, have a nice day. Catch you in the next one, and don't forget to hit the thumbs up button.